koko43 is a rising absurdist creator who's made a lot of really unique levels, both gameplay and decoration-wise. Their levels are usually either humorous or serious, and they create a really unique combination of art, unconventional gameplay, and creative concepts. I Love Lasagna, the level I'm reviewing in this video, is mostly humorous, and in it, Koko really leans into the strengths of their style. The level's themed around everyone's favorite orange comic strip cat, Garfield, who's generally known as a funny, meme-ish part of online culture. I feel like I can personally confirm Garfield's general perception because I've probably read like 2 actual Garfield comic strips at most, but to me Garfield is still instantly recognizable as, oh yeah, look, that's like the funny cat. The idea of a Garfield level like this one lends itself well to specifically Koko style, and no other creators I can think of. The concept of the level is simple, but extremely strong and well executed. It begins with the player navigating through barely visible hitboxes in a Garfield comic strip, and each part becomes more and more absurd. The first part serves as a great introduction to the level. It shows off Koko's zany art style, the level's most prominent thematic elements, those being Garfield and the comic strips. It's clear that Koko intended for this part to be a sort of baseline for the level, as the text in it depicts Garfield thinking that there isn't anything happening, at least nothing interesting. This text fits with Garfield's signature laziness and sarcasm, but it also represents the part itself in a meta way. Over the course of the level, Garfield transforms into strange amalgamations. The comic strips are pulled apart to form blocks, revealing that the level takes place in a night suburban sky. A Kraken Garfield emerges from the ground to terrorize the player, but as we elevate in Y position, we escape it, and come into contact with like a buff Zeus-like Garfield, with a sky that's full of clouds, and it flashes rapidly as the level becomes more and more surreal. A rectangular Garfield tries to eat the player, and at the end, almost unreadable text reads, "It's all Garfield? Always has been." By the end of the level, Koko's drawings of Garfield are almost unrecognizable, but you can still barely make out that it's him. A lot of the absurd Garfield art is some of the most memorable art I've ever seen in a Geometry Dash level, which is especially impressive considering how thematically consistent it stays throughout the level. When I think of I Love Lasagna, I can recall many of the Garfield arts without even looking at the level. The song, which is Just a Taste by Zorbarax, also does a lot for the level. Its instrumental and sonical texture matches Koko's rough line work, and the way it becomes more atmospheric and airy over time is utilized really well in the progression into surrealism. This is also aided by Koko's attention to how drastic each change in the song is, and how the different feelings before and after the change can be captured. For example, a small change in the song in the Garfield Kraken part is represented by the subtle addition of a blending screen. Compared to Koko's other levels, I Love Lasagna stays thematically focused and consistent for its whole duration. Don't get me wrong here though, I don't think a level needs to be focused and consistent to be good. The delightful energy of a level like Memory Demon or Skrillex's lyric video, also by Koko, for example, comes a lot from the way inconsistency and lack of focus can make a level unpredictable and full of delightful surprises. And that's not to say I Love Lasagna isn't full of those, because it is. However, I do think that the energy of I Love Lasagna might have been lost in some capacity, if it wasn't as focused and consistent as it is, because of how good the central idea is, and how much Koko runs with it. Another really important high point about I Love Lasagna is its accessibility. It's the rare Geometry Dash level that you can show someone who's barely ever played the game, and they'll still love it. A big part of my appreciation for the level comes from things that people I've shown the level to who aren't in the community have said about it. I showed it to several people at school while I was playing it, and also a few online friends, and they all really liked the level. Interestingly enough, though, the main reaction that people had was laughter, and I think that in itself really highlights how funny I Love Lasagna is, and the accessibility of that humor. You don't need to be in the community or understand any silly little GD-specific references. It's just straight up funny. Overall, I Love Lasagna is expertly crafted, unique, downright hilarious, accessible, and couldn't have been made by anyone except koko43. If you play the level, I suggest using the lasagna icon, as it implies that the player is lasagna, and Garfield is trying to kill it and eat it. The gameplay is challenging and can be confusing at first, but I think it's rewarding and it gets consistent. Thanks to Actimus for the recording. I've used it as background footage because I Love Lasagna is actually my hardest demon, and I'm not going to go re-record it myself. I'm going to link their channel in the description, as well as Koko's channel, and their showcase of the level. Have a good night, y'all.